Hi, my name is Akankshya Upadhyay and I am your English instructor. In today's lecture, we will be learning about expressing condolence and sympathy, which is in the 4th unit of our English book from grade 9. There are so many unfortunate moments in our lives when we have to lose someone and we need to express condolence and we need to sympathize the family who have suffered the loss. It is a very important skill in our lives, so let us begin. Let me put down the topic first, expressing condolence and sympathy. I would like to begin by saying the synonym for condolence is obituary. These are the same thing. They both mean the same thing. So let's begin by defining what a condolence is, what condolence actually is. So a condolence is an expression of sympathy, especially on the occasion of the death of a person's relative or close friend. An Oxford Dictionary defines condolence as an expression of sympathy, especially on the occasion of the death of a person's relative or a close friend. So to publish an obituary in a newspaper, we usually see there are so many condolence messages in the newspaper. So how do we do that? What is the format for that? So here is the format, and later on we'll see an example. So first of all, in a newspaper where we have to publish these kind of things, the first thing they do is put a picture of the person who's died. So here is the picture, a polite picture, sober picture of a person who's dead, and they write their name, the person's name, late because he has died, something, late, and then name of the person who's died. Then we begin with stating how you feel. The person who is giving this for newspaper, this obituary for newspaper, states his feeling about the loss. So state the feeling of the loss, and then you mention his name, the person's name in the paragraph. Second, you'll state the feeling and the name of a person, following by his profession, or if it's a family member who has published this, it's okay if you just write the name. So if you are talking about your teacher who's died last week, who died 13 days ago, you just write, I am deeply saddened to learn about the sudden demise of Mr. Ram Khatri, an English teacher at Patan High School. So you can begin by saying his name, Ram Khatri, and then his profession, which is an English teacher, at his workplace, Patan High School, workplace. But if Ram Khatri is your uncle and you're publishing the obituary in the newspaper of your uncle, you can just write, we are deeply saddened to learn about the sudden demise of Mr. Ram Khatri, and that's it. You need not write his profession and workplace. So you again continue by stating some of his positive behaviors, his nice behaviors, state his excellent behavior, and maybe you can also mention the cause of his death, and then you should mention a condolence message of strength to his family for the loss. Then you leave a prayer, a short prayer to God, just like rest in peace is an example, which is a prayer to God. Then you will end your obituary by writing who you are. If you're a student from class 9, maybe class 9 students from Patan School. So this is basically who you are. Let me sum up. First of all, there is a picture of the person who's died and his name preceding late, the term late, as he's already dead. So you state your feeling, how you feel, very sad. Then you continue by writing his name. You are deeply saddened by the demise of who? The name of the person who's died and his profession at this workplace, or you can just leave these places blank. And then maybe you can write the cause of his death, like we are deeply saddened to learn about the sudden demise of Ram Khatri, an English teacher at Patan High School, late Khatri was suffering from heart attack, had a heart attack. So you can maybe state the cause of the death of a person. Then state his excellent behavior. How he was very thoughtful, he was very kind, he was very helpful. And then you just elaborate a little bit more about it. Then you get a condolence message of strength to his family for the loss by saying that may his family have the strength to bear this loss, like that. And then you just pray to God for his soul to rest in peace. This is a simple prayer. Then you finally write who you are. Who's the person who's publishing this obituary? So let's look at an example. Let us begin. So here I cannot draw a picture right now. Sorry for that. So late, maybe it's a person's name. We are deeply saddened to learn about the sudden demise of Mr. R.K., make it a bold so that the people know, an English teacher at Patton School. Late, like maybe you can write his name, R.K., or just write his surname, which is K over here. Late K suffered a massive brain hemorrhage. Now, maybe elaborate a little bit about his behavior. He was an excellent teacher and helpful, as well as popular among his colleagues. You can write maybe because you're a student. Popular among students for his kindness. Now you just give a condolence message of strength to the family. We extend our heartfelt condolence to the family grieving the irreparable loss. May the departed soul be at eternal peace with our Heavenly Father. Now this is the end of your condolence, but we are not done yet because we need to state who we are. So, class 9 students, Patton School, Kathmandu. You can also add the date of birth of the person and date of death. Date of death of the person. So this is an obituary. Here's a picture. This is the name of a person who's died. And this is a message of condolence that you're going to publish, that you want to get published on the newspaper. This is how you feel. We are deeply saddened. You are deeply saddened to learn about the death of your teacher, R.K., who was an English teacher at this school. The person who died was suffering from a massive brain hemorrhage. He was an excellent teacher and helpful, as well as popular among his students for his kindness. So this is how he was. This is his behavior, how he was. And this is a message to the family. And this line states the wish that you have for God, that may the soul rest in peace. So we have some more examples extracted from the English dailies. Just refer to that if you need some more references. Now we move forward towards sympathy. So it's sympathy. Now what is a sympathy? Where sympathy is a message that you give to the family of a person who has died. So I would like to begin by stating some points that where there are things you should avoid saying while offering condolences and sympathy. So, and what to say. I will basically be telling you about what to say when you sympathize a person and what not to say. So first let's look at what to say. What to say. You can say maybe, I'm sorry for your loss. Okay? So first you can write, I am sorry for your loss. Now I think this phrase helps the person know that you care. Like the person who you're writing to, he feels that at least you care. So the person gets to know that you care. So the other thing is, you're in my thoughts. You are in my thoughts, or I am thinking about you. This phrase simply lets the person know that you are aware of the emotional difficulty, which helps the victim feel less isolated in his or her experience. So by this phrase, you are letting the person know that you are aware of the emotional difficulty, which helps the victim feel less isolated in their experience. So helps the victim feel less isolated. You can also add by saying he or she was a wonderful person, or maybe you can say that this must be very hard for you. Well, this phrase can be really consoling, and I think the phrase "I love you" is very powerful, because if you are close enough to the person, the fact that you love him will be very powerful and delightful to know that. And this is only if you are very close to the person, only if you are close to the person whom you are writing to. And this could be very, very powerful. So this is what to say. Now we'll look at what not to say and why. Why not to say. So what not to say. So I think the first thing is don't deny the fact that person who died is dead. Okay? So don't deny the fact that the person who died is dead. The other point would be don't deny that the person who's suffering from this loss is not in emotional pain. Don't deny that the person who's suffering this loss is in emotional pain. Of course, he is in a very deep pain, so don't deny that. Don't deny the fact that the person suffering is in emotional pain. Now, also, don't deny that the death may change everyone's life. May change everyone's lives. So these are the things you wouldn't want to mention. And now the phrases that you wouldn't want to mention. I know how you are feeling. This is a very cliche but lame thing. I know how you are feeling. So try and avoid this, because while this is an empathic statement, it can deliver a very wrong message, because everyone has a different feeling. So you can never feel what other people can feel. What I feel for you is never the same that you feel for me. So there are different feelings. So though this is an empathic statement, I would prefer not to use this, because this can deliver a wrong message. So now we'll look at an example of a sympathy message. So here's an example. I have taken this example from the English book of grade 9, unit 4. Dear Sarita, I was shocked to know about the demise. Demise is a polite word for death. Demise of your husband. He was a wonderful person and was always ready to help. His death has caused an immeasurable loss, not only to your family, but to all of us. I express my sincere sympathy to you. May God grant you enough courage to withstand this shock. Now notice one thing, that writing an obituary in a newspaper, and this is almost similar with the content that you choose, only the format may differ, because you're writing how you feel, you're exactly saying what you feel. So you are shocked. I was shocked to know about the demise of your husband. You do not mention name here necessarily, or if you want you can mention it as well, but in an obituary, because you want your in an obituary you mention the name of a person who's died, but it's not necessary in sympathy. However, if you want to, you can always do that as well. So you were shocked to know, this is how you feel, and you just state how the person was. You just state how the person was. He was a wonderful person and was always ready to help. His excellent behavior, you're just stating that. And then his death has caused an immeasurable loss not only to your family but to all of us. So you're not denying the fact that the loss will not impact your lives. And also, I express my sincere sympathy to you. So this is expressing to the family, and then may God grant you enough courage to withstand this shock. So this is, you can also write like the prayer message for the person who's died. You can also write, may your husband's soul rest in peace, or anything. But while writing a sympathy, because this is a closer form, you're more close. You can also, if you like really know this person, you're very close to this person, you can write, maybe you can just write, you're always in my thoughts and I love you. Maybe that could be another powerful one. And just don't forget to mention who you are. So maybe you are Rita. This is your name. And also, this is similar to letter writing. So you mention the address, Damak 9, Chapa, and simply put the date, October 9th. So this is it. We've come across the end of our class. Now let us begin and revisit to what we've studied till now. So what is a condolence? A condolence is an expression of sympathy, especially on the occasion of the death of a person's relative or a close friend. कोही मर्यो भने हामीले कसैलाई दिने सिम्पथी, हामीले दिने सहानुभूतिलाई condolence भनिन्छ. So what's an obituary? Obituary is a newspaper. In a newspaper column, we can find several obituaries where we have a picture of the person who's died, his name and the feelings and everything. We write it down. कोही मान्छे मरेपछि हामीले न्युजपेपरमा पत्रपत्रिकामा हामीले यो छाप्ने गर्छौं र यो चाहिँ संवेदना प्रकट गर्छौं. हामी श्रद्धाञ्जली दिएको भन्छ, नेपालीमा श्रद्धाञ्जली भन्ने गरिन्छ. र यहाँ there is a picture, एउटा फोटो हुन्छ, मरेको मान्छेको फोटो अनि नाम, the name of the person who's died, and you just state the feeling. कस्तो लागिरहेछ त मान्छे बितेकोमा, हामीलाई एकदम नरमाइलो लाग्छ भने चाहिँ मलाई एकदमै नरमाइलो लाग्यो भनेर हामीले सुरु गर्छौं. We begin by saying that we don't feel very good about this, and then we continue this statement by writing his name. यो चाहिँ हामीले पत्रपत्रिकामा छाप्ने भएको हुनाले हामीलाई नाम चाहिँ लेख्नै पर्छ. हामीले जस्तो पछाडि हामी सिम्पथी हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यहाँ नाम राखे पनि हुन्छ नराखे पनि हुन्छ, तर यहाँ चाहिँ वी प्रिफर राइटिङ नेम. हामी नाम लेख्न नै रुचाउँछौं. हामी लेख्छौं मलाई एकदमै नरमाइलो लाग्यो सुनेर. अब के सुनेर भन्दा मिस्टर राम खत्री वा जो पनिको डेथ, लाइक बुकको एक्जाम्पलमा वीर बहादुर शाही छ. सो मलाई एकदमै नरमाइलो लाग्यो. श्रीमान वीर बहादुर शाही जो चाहिँ हाम्रो गुरुबा हुनुहुन्थ्यो यो स्कुलमा भनेर हामीले वी क्यान कन्टिन्यू बाई सेइङ द्याट. हामीले कन्टिन्यू गर्न मिल्छ. इट्स बेटर इफ यु स्टेट द कज अफ डेथ. के भएर मान्छे मर्यो त भनेर लेखिदिनु सधैँ राम्रै हो. सो वी राइट द कज अफ डेथ, देन वी स्टेट हिज एक्सलेन्स बिहेभियर. कस्तो थियो त त्यो मान्छे भनेर हामीले लेख्दाखेरि हामी चाहिँ मान्छे एकदमै राम्रो हुनुहुन्थ्यो भनेर हामीले लेख्छौं भने द्याट्स एन एक्सलेन्ट बिहेभियर द्याट वी शो. Notice that we do not want to be rude. हामीलाई नराम्रो कुरा लेख्दिन मन लाग्दैन. यस्तो बेलामा हामीलाई राम्रो कुरा मात्र भन्न मन लाग्छ. त्यही भएर त्यो मान्छेको जति पनि नराम्रो बानी भए पनि के चाहिँ राम्रो बानी थियो हामीले त्यो नै लेख्छौं. यो मान्छे एकदमै चोर थियो, फटा थियो भनेर हामीले लेख्दैनौं. We write something good about the person and then we continue by writing a condolence message. अब फ्यामिलीलाई जसलाई परेको छ त्यो परिवारलाई साह्रै दुःख हुन्छ र भगवानले चाहिँ त्यो दुःख सहनको लागि शक्ति प्रदान गरून् भनेर हामी condolence message for the strength भनेर हामी एउटा कलममा लेख्छौं. र त्यसपछि चाहिँ आत्मा सुखी होस्, शान्त होस् भनेर हामी रेस्ट इन पीस अथवा अरू केही प्रेयर भगवानलाई गरिने प्रार्थना चाहिँ लेख्ने गर्छौं. यति गरेपछि सकिन्छ. तर हामीले हु वी आर, हामी को हो त भनेर चाहिँ लेख्नुपर्छ. त्यही भएर हामी तलपट्टि हामी कसले लेखेको, यो मेसेज चाहिँ कसले छपाएको भनेर लेख्ने गर्छौं. कसले चाहिँ यो मेसेज राख्यो त. इट कुड बी इदर क्लास 9 को स्टुडेन्ट्स, क्लास 9 भरको स्टुडेन्टले लेख्यो किनकि टिचर बित्नु भयो, कि त एउटा पर्टिकुलर स्टुडेन्टले मात्र लेख्न सक्छ. सरिता थापा क्लास 9 पाटन हाई स्कुल भन्यो भने सरिताले मात्र लेखेको पनि भन्न सक्छ. यो चाहिँ हामी न्युजपेपरमा राख्ने गर्छौं. र यहाँ चाहिँ मान्छे जन्मेको मिति र मान्छेको मरण भएको मिति पनि राखिदिने गर्दछौं. त्यो कम्पलसरी छैन तर राखे पनि हुन्छ नराखे पनि हुन्छ सो दिस इज एन एक्जाम्पल यो एउटा एक्जाम्पल हो यहाँ हामीले कसरी के छ फिलिङ भनेर भनेका छौँ जताएका छौँ फर्स्ट लाइनमा साथसाथै हामीले त्यो मान्छेको नाम र त्यो मान्छेको प्रोफेसन हु ही वाज कहाँ काम गरिरहनु भएको थियो त्यो पनि लेख्छौँ त्यसपछि हामी के भएर मृत्युको कारण चाहिँ के हो पनि हामीले स्टेट गरिदिएको छौँ सो we state the cause of the death of a person then we continue by stating his excellent behavior उसको राम्रो बिहेभियरहरू हामी लेख्दै अघि बढ्छौँ र फाइनली हामी फ्यामिलीलाई सहनको लागि मिलोस् भनेर फ्यामिलीलाई सहनको लागि स्ट्रेन्थ आओस् भनेर we write a line dedicating to the family and then dedicating to the soul who's departed. So may the departed soul be at eternal peace with our Heavenly Father. This is a very powerful statement. बितेको मान्छे चाहिँ उसको आत्मा चाहिँ हाम्रो सधैँ शान्त होस् र हाम्रो बुवासँग हेभनली फादर भनेर भगवानलाई जनाएको छ र यो चाहिँ कसले लेख्यो भनेर क्लास 9 स्टुडेन्ट्स they just put it down there. So this is all for condolence. Now we move forward towards sympathy. Sympathy भनेको चाहिँ फ्यामिलीलाई दिने हामीले फ्यामिलीलाई दिने सहानुभूतिलाई sympathy भन्छ अब sympathyमा के भन्नुपर्छ what to say and what not to say so we'll look at what to say at the first so what to say I'm sorry for your loss I'm sorry for your loss तपाईले गुमाएको लागि म सरी छु भनेर भन्यो भने चाहिँ जसले पढिरहेको हो उसले चाहिँ के बुझ्छ भने यो मान्छेले चाहिँ केयर गर्दो रहेछ मेरो बारेमा सोच्दो रहेछ भनेर बुझ्छ र त्यसले उसलाई अलिकति भए पनि एक्लोबाट बचाउन सक्छ त्यसै गरी you're in my thoughts I'm thinking about you यो भनेको चाहिँ somebody is thinking about you तिमीलाई कति दुःख भइरहेछ भनेर कसैले सोचिरहेछ भनेपछि त्यो मान्छेलाई चाहिँ अलिकति एक्लो फिल हुनुबाट भन्दा अलि धेरै नै टाढा राख्छ उसले आफूलाई र उसलाई चाहिँ अलिकति कम लोनली फिल हुन्छ अलिकति कम एक्लो फिल हुन्छ he she was a wonderful person भन्यो भने यो चाहिँ मरेको मान्छेलाई भनेको होइन जो मान्छे मर्यो ऊ चाहिँ वन्डरफुल थियो भन्यो भने it is a good statement to state This must be very hard for you. यो चाहिँ एकदमै सहानुभूति दिनको लागि यो एकदमै राम्रो सेन्टेन्स हुन सक्छ very consoling अनि I love you यो चाहिँ तिमी एकदमै क्लोज छौ त्यो मान्छेसँग अलि नजिकको नाता छ भने I love you भनेर मैले तिमीलाई माया गर्छु भनेर भन्यो भने उलाई फेरि एक्लो फिल हुनबाट उ बच्छ र उलाई अलिकति एकदमै आधार जस्तो हुन्छ यो स्टेटमेन्टले चाहिँ र what not to say don't deny the fact that the person who died is dead मान्छे मरिसक्यो तर त्यो मान्छे मरेको छैन चिन्ता नलिऊ भनेर यस्तो टाइपको सहानुभूति चाहिँ हामीले कहिले पनि दिनु हुँदैन Don't deny the fact that the person suffering is in emotional pain. मान्छे तिम्रो बुवा त बित्नु भयो तर तिमीलाई खासै गाह्रो भएको छैन होला भनेर कसैले पनि भन्नु हुँदैन त्यो मान्छेलाई अफ कोर्स एकलाई एकदमै गाह्रो भइरहेको छ त्यही भएर हामीले यो उलाई गाह्रो भएको छैन भनेर चाहिँ भन्नु हुँदैन Don't deny that the death may have changed everyone's lives. अब सबैको लाइफ के त्यो मान्छे नजिकको मान्छे मर्यो भनेपछि अरूहरूको लाइफ पनि त फरक पार्छ नि मेरो बुवा बितेको कसैको बुवा बित्नु भयो भने त्यो मान्छेलाई कति एक्लो फिल हुन्छ कति धेरै कुरा चेन्ज हुन्छ उसको लाइफमा त्यही भएर हामीले यो फ्याक्ट चाहिँ कहिले पनि we shouldn't deny this fact. Here are some phrases that you wouldn't want to mention. That's I know how you're feeling. I know how you're feeling चाहिँ किन भन्नु भएन भने यो चाहिँ सहानुभूति दिनको लागि हो यो स्टेटमेन्ट तर यसले चाहिँ गलत अर्थ निकाल्न सक्छ किनकि मैले तिमी प्रति जे फिल गर्छु र तिमीले म प्रति जे फिल गर्छ त्यो नै भिन्नता हुन्छ त्यसमै भिन्नता हुन्छ भने मैले कोही मान्छे बित्दाखेरि के फिल गर्छु भन्ने कुरा त्यो अर्को मान्छेले कहिले पनि बुझ्न सक्दैन किनकि त्यो फिलिङ भनेको मेरो आफ्नो हो र त्यो मैमै सीमित छ त्यही भएर हामी यो फ्रेज कहिले पनि युज गर्दैनौं युज नगरौं भनेर हामी युज गर्न रुचाउँदैनौं Now this is an example. Dear Sarita, I was shocked to know about the demise of your husband. He was a wonderful person and was always ready to help. His death has caused an immeasurable loss, not only to your family, but to all of us. Your first sentence ले हाम्रो फिलिङ जनाउँछ भने सेकेन्ड सेन्टेन्सले चाहिँ कस्तो थियो त त्यो मान्छे भनेर हामीले राम्रो राम्रो कुरा भन्दियो भने त्यो राम्रो हो र अघि what not to say मा हामीले we had mentioned that we shouldn't deny the fact that the person who's died may change our lives हैन त्यो पर्सनको डेथबाट हाम्रो लाइफ चेन्ज भएको छ भन्ने कुरा हामीले डिनाई गर्नु हुँदैन भनेर भनेको थियो र यसमा ठ्याक्क विपरीत गरिएको छ His death has caused an immeasurable loss not only to you, your family, but to all of us भनेर उहाँको मृत्युले चाहिँ तिमीलाई मात्र होइन कि हामीलाई पनि फरक पारेको छ हाम्रो लाइफमा पनि धेरै चेन्जेसहरू ल्याएको छ भनेर भनिरहेको छ हैन I express my sincere sympathy to you. यो चाहिँ मैले समवेदना एक्सप्रेस गरेँ भनेर भनेको छ र फाइनली हामीले चाहिँ के लागिरहेछ त के हो फिलिङ आई मिन फाइनली हामीले चाहिँ त्यो मृत्यु भएको मान्छेलाई चाहिँ ठिक होस् उसको आत्माले शान्ति पाओस् भनेर प्रार्थना गरिरहेको छौँ र सिम्पथी दिने बेलामा हामी हाम्रो नाम पनि लेख्छौँ यो कसले लेखेको त भनेर हामीले पत्र पठाउँदाखेरि लेख्ने गर्छौँ र यो चाहिँ लेटर राइटिङ जस्तै भएको हुनाले हामी यहाँ डेट पनि लेख्ने गर्छौँ सो दिस इज अल we've planned for today's lecture. If you have any comments, any suggestions, any questions, please write to us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thanks for watching and I hope this was of great help.